My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Transformers Age of Extinction, and this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But I bet you guys were surprised that I liked the first three movies. Everybody seems to hate them, but I get enjoyment from them. So, up until this point, I've been a defender of this franchise. But that ends today. There is no defending this movie. This movie is terrible, and unlike the first three, I don't have any nostalgia for this movie. And also, unlike the first three, this movie has no Tyrese Gibson and Josh Duhamel, which I could get by with, but there's no Shia LaBeouf. And I think he's great in the first three movies. I think he is the glue that holds them together. That no matter how far-fetched they become, he keeps it somewhat grounded on a human level. And that's just absent here. So I feel like lots of people's criticisms of the first three, well, it's just CGI noise, I don't agree with for the other three movies, but here I do. It's just excessive, it's too much, and let's begin talking about the cast. And Mark Wahlberg, I do like as an actor. I think he's great in Boogie Nights and The Fido, The Italian Job, The Other Guys, and my favorite movie of his is Instant Family. That's a real gem. And I liked him at first, but after a while, he just kind of disappears into the background, and it doesn't feel like he has enough to do, enough to work with, and I was underwhelmed by his performance. Kelsey Grammer, Fraser himself, he does a perfectly fine job. Stanley Tucci, I thought, was the standout performance here. He brings enough personality to this movie. TJ Miller, I know everybody hates him, but his acting is perfectly fine. It brings enough energy. Nicola Peltz, not good, but not bad either, just in the middle. Jack Reiner, I loved in Sing Street, and I actually thought he was really bland here. Like, he just had no character. And then the voices of the Transformers, Peter Cullen is great. Frank Welker, meh. John Goodman, I liked. Ken Watanabe, yeah, so the voice acting is good. My issue with this movie is that it's just so overstuffed. Too much plot, too many characters, and it's just a mess. Like, I think there are some ideas here. Good ideas, I should say. The idea of humans getting radicalized against the Transformers after the events of the third movie, excellent, go for it. The idea that humans can now make Transformers, excellent, go for it. And I do like the first 40 minutes of this movie, but then at an eventual point, it just lost me and it never got me back on board. There was a storyline with Cade, with Optimus, and the creators of the Transformers, and Lockdown, and Galvatron, and the evil humans, and it's just a lot, and none of it is done well. There is no focus in this movie. Like, sure, the first three movies have a lot going on, but the first movie is clearly about Sam and his car that turns out to be a Transformer, and him having to help him get the Allspark. The second movie is after Optimus dies, the only way to stop the Decepticons is to get the Matrix to bring Optimus back. The third movie is the Decepticons plan on bringing Cybertron to Earth, and they have to face off. Like, They might be big movies, but the stories are focused. This movie, that is not the case. And I thought the entire father-daughter boyfriend plot was just bad. I get what they were going for. I don't think it works. And if I can't connect with the human characters, then this movie just doesn't feel grounded in any emotion. And therefore, it's more difficult to get me engaged. So, yes, lots of this movie did feel like CGI noise. And maybe it's just me, but I actually thought the CGI was a noticeable step down in this movie. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some great aspects of it. But out of the 4 movies, this one looks the worst easily. The sound is still good, especially at the end of the movie. Some of the production design is good, but it just feels like Michael Bay is going through the motions here. He does everything the same, and I'm okay with that for the first 3 movies, but when you're 4 movies in, you need to do something different. You need to allow this movie to stand out a bit more. And I just don't feel like he does that. I wish Michael Bay challenged himself here, and not only is it more of the same, but it's a worse version of it. Now that said, most of the action sucks, but there is one great scene when they're leaving this ship and they're on these cables, and I thought that was the best moment of this movie. It was very tense. There was a scene where Mark Wahlberg and that one dude are fighting, and it kind of reminded me of Uncharted, and I liked that moment. The dinosaur transformers are kind of cool, but they're barely in the movie. And that giant ship at the end that like sucks things up like a magnet, that was cool, but it also happened too late into the movie where I was already kind of checked out by that point. So there is some cool action. Some of the humor does work for me. When Mark Wahlberg's like, where's your warrant? You can't do this. And he's like, my face is my warrant. That's a great line. It's terrible, but it makes me laugh. Stanley Tucci says at the end of the movie, how do you say get the fuck out of my way in Chinese? That was great. So, yeah, so some of the action, some of the humor still does work for me. I'm not a fan of the fact that Galvatron is just Megatron reincarnated. Like, he already died in the first movie, they brought him back for the second, and in the third movie he died again, and now you bring him back. Like, it's just tired by this point. Should have left him dead and go in a completely different direction. There's definitely an angle of this movie that tries to be about immigration it comes across, which was fine, I guess. And, okay, time to get to my other big issue with this movie, and it's the fact that it's not only the worst one yet, but it's the longest one yet. Like, this movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes, and it's just absurd. There is not enough substance for this one time. And it's way overstays its welcome. And like I said, some good action, but there's so much action and no distinct set pieces besides the ones I mentioned. And as a result, you just grow numb to it, to the point where it does become CGI noise. So, yeah, I think there are some good ideas here. I like the first 40 minutes. I like Stanley Tucci. There is some funny moments and there is some cool action scenes, but this is easily the longest one yet, objectively. It's also more of the same and the worst one yet. So, you know, like, those issues are so huge that it kind of cancels out all the good. It's an overstuffed mess with characters I don't really care about, and if I ever want to watch a Michael Bay Transformers movie, I won't go back to this one. So I'll give Transformers Age of Extinction a 3.5 out of 10. Okay, Transformers Age of Extinction. What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin out.